long last, I think this is the moment that I've been waiting for. I got here at the crack of dawn, and it was very, very early, raining, grey, and I was determined to catch one of these hard-fighting golden tench. And I was just beginning to think, actually, that my chance had gone, because I've been here about 2.5 hours, just trickling a little bait next to the lily pads there, with absolutely nothing. And then the float's just dipped away, and I've got that lovely solid resistance on the other end. These fish really do hang on. They fight just the same as your traditional green tench. Really get their heads down and beat that powerful tail, and they give you a good old scrap. Oh, it's, you're not going to believe this.
It's an Orfe.
It's an Orfe. Well, this is the bit where you make a complete plonker of yourself, because having waxed lyrical about the fabulous fight of the golden tench, I've just discovered that I've managed to hook a massive Orfe in the tail. Whoa, that one's a clonker. And this is one of those koi Orfe that Zig was talking about yesterday. It's a blue Orfe, but it's got all these wonderful colours across its back. It's a magnificent fish. And I can't help wishing it was a tench. But at least you've got to see what I was talking about with these huge Orfe. They are superb looking fish. Well, that fish is well over 4 pounds. It's possibly 5. I might even weigh it in a moment. Terrific looking fish. Fabulous.
Well, here on the Great Catfish Fiasco, anything happens at the moment. Just out towards the middle of the lake, I've seen loads and loads of bubbles coming up, and I think they're probably carp, but in amongst them I thought I saw a catfish tail turn over, so I'm trying anything now out of desperation. I've put 2 main baits out there, but I'm still keeping a float down in the margin, just for a little cat that might just come patrolling along. So it's back to the old waiting game.
Well, would you believe it? I spent all day yesterday trying to catch big Orfe, and now I'm trying to catch tench. I can't stop catching them. Another big fish, this. Oh, that's a lovely one. I've now had a double blue Orfe. Look at that. Beautiful fish. Clonker.
Well, it's looking like a real disaster for me. Matt's picked the best swims and he's left me down here in a right mudder. But I'm going to make the most of it, and I'll outdo him yet. Well, that's the theory anyway.
There's some lily pads up here, and I've seen fish moving. They may be golden tench, so I'm going to give that area a try.
Well, I've had some advice from the local anglers, and they've said in the daytime it's worth fishing a piece of luncheon meat just down the margin. Let's see what happens.
Look at that fish out there. It's a huge fizz of bubbles. That must be big fish.
There is always the chance of a little catfish coming round the edge there, so...
This golden tench is turning into a white elephant. Well, it's been a strange old session so far. Yesterday, I struggled to catch the big Orfe that this place is famous for. I got one right at the death, spraying maggots, a nice golden Orfe. And then today, I come down fishing for tench, and what do I catch? Yep, loads of Orfe. I've had some clonkers, you know. I've had fish to over 5 pounds. But what can't I catch? A golden tench. And yet this place is absolutely full of them. And I really don't know what's wrong. But I've been thinking about this, you know, and from the point of view of the challenge, I've got to catch tench. The golden tench at the end of the day is only a subspecies. So reluctantly, I'm going to let this thing go and move on to the next species before Mick and I have to drive to Leominster. And that's going to be a koi carp. There's a place here that's absolutely full of them. And let's just hope that at least they're playing ball today. Well, there's no finer or simpler way to catch a fish than using what we call free line tactics. And when I say that, what I mean is a rod, a reel, a line, and just a hook, nothing else. Now, this style of fishing has been around since man invented the sport, and it's very, very exciting. The Koi Lake here at Angler's Paradise is the perfect place to free line right off the surface. I've got with me some superb bait. They're chum mixer dog biscuits, which I've flavoured with one of my favourite carp flavours, a flavour called Scopex. It's a nice, creamy, buttery smell that the fish here can actually detect in the water, and they'll come right up to the surface, hopefully to take these biscuits off the top. It's real heart-stuffing stuff, but we've got to creep around, ease our way into the clearings, and try and keep as low and as quiet as possible, because these fish are really spooky. Right, now this is the spot over here. I've been baiting it up with a few biscuits, and the fish are really up for it. But they're not stupid, these fish. Any unnatural movements or noise, and they'll come straight back down to the bottom, and we won't see them again. Any noise is bad news here. I sometimes worry when I'm fishing for these fish that they can actually hear your heart beating. So I'm going to nick a couple of biscuits onto the hook, and that'll give me enough casting weight to flick the bait out in among the weeds there. And if I hook a fish, I'm really going to have to lean down hard on it and get it out before it bores down into the weed. Some nice fish out there. Now I've got to flick the bait out. Like that. Okay, now I can see the bait. It's in a nice little clearing. Fish approaching it there. Ah, I missed him. Damn. You've got to be really, really quick. Now that'll spook the fish for a little while. Hopefully if I put a few more biscuits in, I'll come back up again. They're really spooky fish. The way I took these biscuits is to select a reasonably soft one and just nick the hook through, but leave plenty of the point showing. Just get the bait to sit on the bend of the hook like that. If the biscuits mask the hook point, you won't hook the fish. I like to use 2 biscuits in this situation. First of all, it enables me to see my hook bait and distinguish it from the free offerings. Secondly, it deters some of the smaller fish. There's a fish now. Right, now I've got to keep his head up. He'll bore hard for the weeds, and I've got to keep him out of them. It's a decent fish, this one. Come on. I'm playing him really hard, and he'll try and get right into those weeds. It's a nice white fish. Come on. Yes. Whew. I wish they'd all gone as easy as that. That's a beautiful koi carp. Look at the colours. They are amazing. Just pop the hook out. There it is. Beautiful fish. Now, there are all sorts of different colours in this lake. Look at this one, it's beautiful. It's white in the main, pearly white. It's got some black scales along its back. And also its gill cover's actually orange. There's little bits of yellow in there and some coral pink. And you'll find koi in all kinds of different colours, actually, because they're bred for ornamental ponds. And some of these fish are worth lots of money, literally thousands of pounds. And that's why I'm going to pop this one straight back into the water. Lovely. I'll put him back in the net. Well, Mick will be pleased about this one. I'm not sure how his catfishing exploits are going, but we can tick one off the carp species list, that's for sure. And in style. Go on, my beauty. Great. Tatty old bait, but they're good for a catfish. You know, we need to catch a fish, so
Yeah, well, I'll put mine in the margins and we've got the lock covered, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right, well, I'm going to get my tackle round and we'll make a start.
All right, let's go. Well, I've joined forces now with Mick to really try and get to grips with this catfish because that is the one species we're really struggling with. We've got one night here. Actually, we should have been gone earlier today, but we're going to do this night. It's got to be worth a go because it's difficult to see where else we might pick up a catfish. Now, Mick and I are going to use completely different tactics for this. He's going to fish in the margins using catfishy kind of baits, and I'm going to approach these catfishes as though they were carp. I'm using slightly bigger hook baits than normal. I'm using a lot of pellets, a lot of maggots, and I'm hoping that if I put a decent bed of bait out there, I can draw these catfish in. And if I catch the odd big carp while I'm at it, well, that's all right as well. Well, we're just on nightfall, and I've had a take over the bed of maggots and pellets, the far bait, quite a long way out, about 70 yards. I've got a good fish on here. I don't know what it is. I suspect it's a carp, but you can never quite tell. It's just ploughing around out there. It's gone on one long run.
It was a mirror carp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we do need a mirror carp, Matt, and this is going to make up for some of the time we've
Well,
lost.
it ain't in the net yet, boy. God, Struth. What is he feeding them on? Steroids? I just wonder whether it's just dug into its peck or something.
Yeah, usually if they fight as much as that, the hook's probably in an unusual place. You're not getting direct pressure.
Well,
on
that's right, and that's what's worrying me a bit.
Yeah,
now.
you might not be getting the pressure on to turn it.
It's a good fish,
I'll tell you what,
though,
that is a fat fish, that is. Do you want me to get the net in?
Yeah, I think she's coming now, with any luck.
Yeah,
Well,
she's in.
my
She's
son.
in. I'll tell you what, I always worry about netting somebody's fish when it's a big one.
Well, you did a nice job there, boy. That is one beautiful carp. Look at that. Absolutely mint. It's perfect condition, Mick.
Yeah, all the fishing that I've seen up to
They're
now have
magnificent.
been as good as that, yeah.
Zig's got it taped. This is what we call a mirror carp. It's a member of the king carp family. It's called a mirror carp because of these mirror-like scales. They're like great big plate mirror-type scales, and they're very rare, actually, a big fully scaled.
Yeah, I've not seen many.
Mick, this fish is well over 20 pounds.
Yeah, shall I get the sling and scales?
We could weigh it.
Yeah, it's worth weighing,
could
I
weigh
think.
it.
Yeah.
22 and a bit, I'd say. Mick, you read her off?
Yeah, and what did I say it was?
You said that?
Yeah.
22 and a half pounds, Mick. Brilliant.
Yeah, nice job, mate.
Spirits are riding high, Brownie.
Yeah. Well, I reckon we'll get this one safely put back,
Yep.
and then we'll get the kettle on.